again for the, ooh, I got that. The recording is in progress. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. You know, it's kind of funny. We are going to be talking about, we're looking back at 2021 in review. And I think all of us were kind of hoping that 2022 would find us all together again for Wit, Wisdom, and Wine. But due to COVID and just being as safe as we possibly can, we thank you greatly for joining us and doing so in this Zoom environment. You know, it's one of those things where, again, I know it's great when we can be together, and I know it's a great exchange of ideas. It's a great exchange of just, you know, personalities and creativity and celebrating an organization that really does so much for our community. But again, for safety's sake, we are meeting via Zoom. So thank you again for your patience, for being with us tonight. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to Kim Edson. And Kim is the library's head of Readers Services, or as Kim very succinctly stated as we were riffing in the green room, the technical waiting room, while everybody was entering, she gets to do all, Kim gets the staffers get to do the fun things. So if there's something fun at the library, chances are Kim Edson is behind it. So bless you, Kim. This is a job that Kim has held since 1998. And tonight we're going to be looking back at 2021 in review. This mini session tells you how the Rochester Public Library changed lives, breaking down barriers and establishing connections in the community. And again, find out about changes and get any questions answered. So Kim, I am going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. I just want to double check that my screen is shared appropriately. Say, yep, yes. Excellent. So what happened in 2021? The best of times, the worst of times. I think it was kind of a very schizophrenic year. A year ago, we were delivering services through these little windows that were purchased at the beginning of the year to help get books in the hands of people. But our library was closed. We were very much really trying to navigate this COVID world. There was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel this time last year. In addition to providing the pickup services for holds, we also really focused on digital collections through the Libby app. If you haven't met Libby, Libby is my very best friend. You can find her in your Apple App Store or your Google Play Store, and you can get access to thousands of digital titles 24/7. So even though the doors of the library were closed, we were always open. We always had materials to deliver to you digitally and to pick up at the library and the bookmobile, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The first half of the year, library staff were very much engaged in supporting the COVID hotline. I think last year, Audrey talked about our pandemic response. It was really critical at the very beginning of the COVID epidemic for the community to have access to trusted, vetted information about what resources were available, what the latest and greatest information was about the COVID pandemic. And library staff stepped up and did that. We provided reference services as well as supporting the COVID hotline. And last year at this time, we were very, very involved in getting people vaccinated. And I don't know about you, but when I got my first vaccination, I was so excited. You know, this time I thought I was going to die if I got it. Now there was hope. I get vaccinated, I can return to normal. And we had a celebration. The stuff that we went through in the call center was very intense. It was a lot of emotional labor. It was a lot of thinking quickly on our feet. And it was a lot of dealing with people in crisis and needing the best information possible. And when it ended in June of 2021, we had a celebration. You'll notice the little COVID piñata. I was the first one to take a whack at that, and well, it kind of didn't last on the ceiling after that. we we all got a chance to take out our frustrations on COVID and how it disrupted our lives, but we were getting ready to come back to normal. We opened, slowly at first. We had express services. We wanted to make sure people were getting in and out. We really focused on, come on, pick up your holds. We're going to do some limited browsing. But when we opened, we really took a very careful look at equity and what our community needed. And we opened full days, Saturday and Sunday, starting in June. And we haven't stopped. And what we found is the community has really responded well to that. And we're one of the only libraries in the area that offers those extensive weekend hours, which we think helps make our collections and services more accessible to a greater number of people. Another little known fact about the library is during the COVID pandemic and even before, we've been very interested in addressing issues of food security in our community. While we were supporting the COVID hotline, we worked very closely with Channel One to help people connect with food resources that they needed and get food delivered to them. We also distributed through the windows, the pickup windows and the bookmobile, backpacks for people who were experiencing food insecurity. And we had those throughout the summer for people who needed food. And we collaborated with local community gardens to distribute fresh produce throughout the year. Last year, the seed libraries, we had to pick up the seeds through the little walk-up windows, place them on hold. The bookmobile experimented with having its own seed library collection on it, and we found a really successful way to distribute seeds on the bookmobile. So you'll hear it at the talk tomorrow if you come back about what our plans are for the seed library in 2022. But we know that having access to seeds has really helped expand the community's access to healthy foods. And you don't always think about the library and food security, but we're here to help. The bookmobile, which is near and dear to my heart, is going to benefit from your generosity at the foundation. One of the things you'll notice is we're providing services at tables outside the bookmobile. COVID has not allowed us to provide it safely on the vehicle. And we are one of the last places, the bookmobile, where if coming inside and interacting in an enclosed space doesn't feel safe to you, you can come and get your materials at the bookmobile in a safe way. If for some reason you have issues with being able to wear a mask because our services are provided outside, that is an option for you as well. And thanks to you, we are looking forward to getting an awning that will help make this much more comfortable for both the staff and the patrons as we're providing services in an outdoor environment. And in addition to the bookmobile, I'm going to have Brenda share a nifty little video to highlight our homebound services.
Rochester Public Library's bookmobile is well known throughout Olmsted County. The team delivers thousands of materials through multiple bookmobile stops each year. But when they're not on the road doing bookmobile visits, the team and a small group of volunteers make special home delivery visits. Each month, the Homebound team delivers to dozens of area residents who are unable to leave their homes. In some cases, it's a short-term need, and in other cases, ongoing deliveries are made. Recently, the daughter of one of our Homebound customers shared how this program impacts our community.
Dear Mary, Marge, and Jenny, thank you for your kind-hearted care toward my mother. She often commented how you picked out just the right books. She loved to read despite her progressive macular degeneration. This program brought her a great deal of joy. Please accept this donation as a token of gratitude to each of you and the Homebound program. Sincerely, Kathy.
To learn more about the Homebound program, visit us at rplmn.org or call the library at 328-2300.
Okay, we'll bring it back to, oh, are we sharing it? Okay, great. I appreciate that we got a question, and I hope that you will continue to ask questions, and we'll get to them at the end. But I will indicate right now, because it was related to Bookmobile and related to the topic. Right now, with the current COVID risk, it is not safe for us to allow people in the Bookmobile on the Bookmobile to browse. Our staff have been incredibly creative. They have loaded up carts of materials and brought them outside for people to have a browsing experience outside of the Bookmobile. And again, the really great place to put things on hold. We had a plan. We had a plan that we developed in August. And when we were in that moderate low stage, we were going to start letting people on the Bookmobile, because we know we got fun stuff there. We know people want to look at it. We know people want to explore, and we want you to. But I need to keep people safe. We were going to have a plan where one family unit at a time could go on. If that family unit was one person, great, you could be there for 10 minutes, or it was 5. They were part of the same family unit. That was how we were going to be COVID safe on the Bookmobile. But as the day that we were ready to open that up, we went to a severe risk transmission, and we had to shut it down. I'm very hopeful, and again, stay tuned for the session tomorrow. I'm very hopeful that as the transmission rates change and the transmission rates reduce, we will be able to find a way to safely return people to the Bookmobile. But it is going to look different, because that's the nature of the flexibility that we've had to have these last couple of years. So we've been doing a lot of pivoting and adjusting and trying to address providing services safely in this pandemic. Not easy work. A lot of the services that we provided took more staff time, and it felt like we weren't getting quite as much. But despite all that, we still managed to do some new things in 2021, which I'm very proud of. We got a new website. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's been completely redesigned. It was redesigned with you in mind, so that people could more easily navigate our digital resources and find collections. And we're very proud of it, and we hope you're enjoying the new way of exploring our collection. Something else we added: board games. You know, who was bored during the pandemic, right? Maybe a game that you could play with your family might make things a little bit more enjoyable. We had started this collection in 2019, but when we had to close our doors, had to put it on hold. But as soon as we reopened, we were very excited to make that available. Another thing that I really want to highlight, we'll be talking about it more tomorrow, is that the Rochester Public Library has a new app for navigating its collection and services. And you find this in the Apple Store or your Google Play Store. Just search for RPLMN. You'll find our little branding, a little ribbon logo, and it's a really nice app that you can put on your smartphone or tablet, and it allows you to very easily explore the library's collections. If you come across a book you really like and you want to know if the library has it, you can scan the barcode and boom, it'll pop up the record. You can enter your library card number on that, so wherever you are, you'll have your library card number. You don't have to worry about losing that little piece of plastic, because you'll have it in your phone. Another thing that we learned during the pandemic is that being connected electronically, digitally, was critically important to being able to learn, function, work, participate in the world in a pandemic situation. And we were very grateful and excited to apply for and receive over $500,000 to make 1,000 connected Chromebooks available. These Chromebooks are connected to Wi-Fi using T-Mobile cellular connection, and they're available to folks who don't have a connection to the internet, who need it desperately for education purposes. And we define education rather broadly in this context, and aren't getting a device from another source and don't have internet at home. That has been an all hands on deck project. 1,000 devices is a lot, and they all had to be packaged and processed and made ready and distributed. Processes for making sure that we're compliant with the grant requirements and also getting these distributed were no small task. And the people have issues with them. They need support. They come to the library to help them with that as well. So it's been a challenging year to provide services, a challenging year to help maintain those connections in the community, which are very, very important to the heart of what we do. But we have some lovely fans out there. I think the library is doing a great job and thoroughly appreciate all the fine work they do. Thank you. We need to hear that, especially when we've had a rough day of having to enforce mask requirements. And it's nice to know that there's love out there for us. And this is the one that I think just really makes my heart happy. Is like, I would never have made it through the pandemic if it were not for the wonderful books I read that kept me entertained and sane. We know that the library has been an important part of the lifeline for many of you as we go through this COVID pandemic. And this foundation has really, really helped. You came through for us with donations to help us build our digital collection, and you're helping us provide bookmobile services with that awning in a way that's going to be much more comfortable and much more safe as we move forward. And with that, I'd like to thank you for participating. Thank you for being part of this event, and I open it up for any questions. At this point, I'll stop sharing so we can all see one another.
Kim, it looks like, and actually, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will share my screen that has all the info, or not all of the information, but it does have the Rochester Public Library website, social media presence, etc. But there was a question from Rick, and it was, what is the status of the audio-visual lab? And now that I've gotten fancy, I missed my, yes.
And somebody already downloaded the app and got it installed on their phone. So
two people did. Catherine did too. Catherine, you're supposed to be working on this Wit, Wisdom, and Wine. Here you are. Sheesh. Alrighty.
So the Converter Lab.
Status.
We know it's critically important to folks. We know that there's a backlog of interest. One of the things people might not know is that the library experienced some budget cuts with COVID. We lost 3 full-time people. That is a significant number of staff hours. We are hoping to bring back at least one of them in the next year. But as soon as we're able to safely interact in a little bit, because this is one of those places where in order to teach somebody, you're doing it in a confined space. It usually takes more than 15 minutes. So when the risk of transmission goes down, and we have found our staff capacity, we know that this is something that is of value, and we want to make that service available. I wish I had a date. Let's just make COVID go away. Let's do all the things. Let's social distance. Let's wear our masks. Let's do all the things to make this go away, and then we can return some of those services.
Audrey has a good question. Are there some Chromebooks that have appropriate kid filters on them?
So these are available for all ages. We have had families who've checked out multiple devices. There is a requirement for there to be some filtering software on that. I don't know exactly where that is, but if you have a child who needs it for education, they certainly qualify for it if you don't have access to internet at home or adequate access. And I really think no matter what technical tools are available on any device, it's critical for parents to be engaged to how their children are interacting in the digital world and make sure that they're monitoring their use.
And people can
Sweet.
the computer center help people install things like the filters if they need?
This is the thing. There's nothing to install. This is a Chromebook. It
Okay.
all runs through Google.
No, if they wanted to put like a kid filter on there so that they're
The
just like that.
T-Mobile has one.
Okay.
I guess my my experience with filters is they can help. They can help, but they can also overblock or underblock. I would never put 100% of my security in a filtering product. They're just not that sophisticated.
There's
So
another
what is
question.
this-
What is the status of the 3D printer?
Same thing with the lab. The 3D printer, my understanding is they are starting to slowly take orders. I think it's been a soft launch. If you have products that you want to have printed, that you want to send those files to, I would have you contact the reference desk. And I think there's a queue, and they're starting. One of the things people may not know is during the pandemic, that 3D printer was used to print those little plastic ear protectors so that when you were wearing masks, it took the pressure off the ears. We distributed a number of those throughout the community.
That's so cool. So we have a question. This is a very, very good one. Is there a way to get a library card through the app? The person, Alita, who has asked this question, does confess that she has no idea where her library card is. Mine is by my Costco membership card because you never know when you're going to need, Costco and the library on the fly. So can you request a library card number through the app? And if not, what would be the best way to get a library card for a user?
Yeah, so getting a library card is super easy. You can do that from home. I believe you can do that from the app. Now I'm going to have to double check, but I think all that functionality is there. We do have an online library card application. And what's really nifty about that is as soon as you fill out that online application, you'll instantly get a temporary card number. And that temporary card number will be good immediately to place holds with the physical collection, the digital collection, whatnot. Then our circulation department will get that application and either send you a physical card or encourage you to come in and pick up the physical card. During the closed hours, we did a lot of mailing of cards. I think now we're doing it a little bit more selectively, the mailing of the cards, but if that's something you need to get a card, that's not a problem. You can also come into the library. We take care of it real quick. It's a very easy process. One of the things that some of you might be experiencing, because this is, we had to navigate a lot the last couple of years. We didn't want a bunch of cards expiring when people couldn't easily renew them. So we suspended the expiration of a lot of cards for the last couple of years. Well, now that we're open and now that we've been open for 6 months, we have gradually been expiring cards, and people who have been using their cards, especially in the Libby app, their cards are now expired. They don't work. We're having to do a little bit of cleanup from that. But we because basically we deferred that. The expiration process helps make sure that we keep our database up to date so that we know your most recent information and that we don't carry card holders that don't live here anymore. But yeah, that's a little bit of maintenance that we've had to do and quite a bit in a short amount of time because we deferred it for 2 years during the pandemic.
How many, do you know off the top of your head, how many people are out there that hold a Rochester Public Library card? I mean, how many cards are out there?
Oh my gosh, I should have that at the top of my fingers. I know there's another person here in the audience who may have that at the top of their fingers or may have easy access to look that up. Give me a moment. I might be able to find that.
Well, as I say, in the meantime, I've been impressed. Brenda, you actually let me know that I could read a lot of different newspapers using my library card. So if I see something on the New York Times that I really wish to read, which it's usually some celebrity gossip, I have a thing for celebrities, I can go to the library and use that. Libby is fantastic. I again, you can get the audiobooks through there. You can get, ebooks. I find stuff for my kids. I found stuff for me. It's just the wealth of information that is out there. And again, at the tip of your fingers with a library card is stunning to behold. So, Kim,
still trying. Still trying.
Kim, you're going to be here tomorrow. So to be honest, okay, so people who are attending, show up tomorrow and maybe we'll have the answer to this mystery. Kim, we're going to talk to you tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. after the Squirrel Association Improv. That's going to be in the library auditorium. So we are getting close to the top of, or 6 o'clock hour. And I know that we're going to be welcoming Jenna and Carl. Oh, hey, I see that by the numbers. Wow, 62,000 card holders, 473,000, I'm going to round visits, 937,490 checkouts. And what's that, 3,400? You're cut off a little bit there, Brenda.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, there we go. 3,400 programs. Wow. And that is from, that's December 2021. So it's amazing because, again, I know the pandemic was hard. Obviously, it's been hard for a lot of us, but you guys really just managed to keep improvising, pivoting, and most importantly, hewing to the mission of the Rochester Public Library and the work that the organization, the team has done towards equity. That's just incredible. And Brenda, we got some black screen going on here.
Oh, I was looking at the chat. I'm sorry. It's so weird because you don't really see what's happening on everybody else's screen when you do it. I'm sorry.
You know what? I tell you what, I'm gonna just boot you off. No. So again, it's 6 o'clock. I see a couple more questions. I see a couple more questions.
How many languages are available to learn through the library? Lots and lots and lots. We have a really nifty online Mango program for learning languages. I encourage you to check it out. When they did a study of our collection not that long ago, we learned that Rochester is very unique in the number of international languages that are included in our collection. So do I have an exact number? No, but we'll help you find the language you're looking for. I promise you that. And yeah, rplmn.org/mango. That's the best place to go to learn about more of our language resources.
And then I think Rick has the best question. What is the prize for the 1 millionth checkout?
Well, we've reached that many times in other years. We didn't reach it in 2021. Again, doors closed and something like that. But gosh, maybe we should think of one. Rick, what do you think would be a good prize?
A cheese trip on the bookmobile?
A wine and cheese trip on the bookmobile.
No, Maxine says thank you for all your enthusiasm and work. Joanne, you're absolutely right. Being able to download books on my Kindle saved me through COVID. Same here. Alita, yes, all of this information is just great. So
And
Brenda,
we're gonna get a new scanner at the library, and it's gonna have 100 languages that teach you how to scan or copy in 100 languages. So that's kind of fun too. It's awesome that they try to make sure that everybody can figure out how to get everything that they need at the library.
Yep. Again, thank you so very much. Thank you. Well, if anybody else has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, like I said, next up is going to be our friends from the People's Food Co-op. If you made it there to get to pick up your stuff, there's going to be some wine. There's going to be some nibbles. I'm going to pay Brenda to not post the pictures of me in my finest, food safety gear, because some of the volunteers for this event helped package your food. So so it was all done safely, gloves, masks. I did not wear a hairnet, but I got to wear it. What
Well,
was that
see, you're
called?
just begging for that picture to be shared now.
I looked really chipper and cheerful. So anyway, all right. Well, again, Kim, thank you so much. I think everybody, obviously your presence here means that you treasure the library as much as the organizers of this event do. And again, I know how much the library accomplished during the pandemic. And again, the staffers were asked to do a lot, and it was not gone unnoticed by people in the community. And you were saying something that some of these comments make your heart happy. It's making me a little misty because again, it's just I think for a lot of us, it's just that was the one thing that you could kind of count on during the pandemic. You could still broaden your mind and get entertained. So so thank you, Kim, and I adore your staff. You all do such great work, and I love librarians. So I'm gonna stop babbling.
Well, yeah, everybody, we have time for a break before you can go get your food from the people's co-op and your wine. Please, get yourself 3 different glasses if you don't want to commingle. But otherwise, hopefully, were they all able to pick up? Were you all able to pick up your items? If not, they'll still probably be there tomorrow unless I get into the cooler and drink the rest of the samples. But then I might need the bookmobile to drive me home because sorry. I haven't had any wine yet. It seems like I have. It's just been a long day and I'm a little punchy. So anyway, thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the next session.